If you're looking for a classic Southern breakfast, this one is worth making. Hog Jowl gravy, and cathead biscuits. I'll show you how to make each one from start to finish. Where you're from will determine whether you refer to these as a hog jowl or a hog jaw. I call them jowls. And they're not that easy to find in these larger grocery store chains, except I can pick these up at Food Lion because I live in the South. I don't know how difficult they are to find in other regions of the country. Those country stores in the South, some of them that sell cured meats, can provide you with some of the best tasting hog jowls ever. So this is a hog jowl. And you can see it looks a lot like bacon. To me, it's kind of a mixture between bacon and fatback is the way it tastes to me, but everybody thinks differently. I'm going to cook this just like I would cook bacon, either in the oven on a sheet pan or in the frying pan. And sometimes when you find this, it will have a rind on it, like fatback. And that rind can become hard when you're cooking it. So normally if I purchase this and it has that rind on it, I just take that rind right off with a knife. But that's a matter of preference. Some people like that crispy part of it. I don't, so I take it off. While those hog jowls are cooking, we're going to make the homemade biscuits. Just a couple of things. I'm going to give you some tricks that I've learned over the years, and you can take them or leave them. That's up to you. But for one thing, I don't like to clean up. I love to cook, but I hate to clean. When I'm working with biscuits, I use parchment paper. It helps to keep my workspace cleaner. And if you notice, it wants to roll up. If you don't want it to roll up, all you got to do, unfold it and flatten it. Now it will behave. I'm using this today. It's not sponsored video. This is just, I picked this up at Food Lion. If you've never seen it, it looks a lot like Crisco. Crisco has vegetable oil in it. And there's a difference in the texture of butter, Crisco, and lard. The texture of your biscuits is determined greatly upon the type of fat you're using in them. I'm using lard today. I sometimes use Crisco. I sometimes use butter. It just depends on either what I have on hand or what mood I'm in. Because, yeah, your girl here, I change my mind a lot. Today I'm using lard because I am making biscuits like my mama made. As far as the flour, I'm using self-rising, and I know that's backwards for you because I'm not using my back camera, but it's self-rising white lily flour. And I'm also going to be using buttermilk. You don't have to use buttermilk. You can use regular milk. I'm using 1% buttermilk. I normally use whole buttermilk, but this happened to be what the grocery store had when I went to buy buttermilk. It doesn't matter which one you use, whether you use 1% or whole buttermilk. This is just a little bit thinner than whole buttermilk, so it's probably going to take a little bit less than what I normally use, but we'll find out. Self-rising flour already has leavening agents in it. I want my biscuits to rise a little bit more. So I'm going to add a little extra baking powder to mine, and I'm adding salt. I do not add sugar to biscuits unless I'm making biscuits that are like blueberry or strawberry or some kind of sweet biscuit. For my regular biscuits that I'm having with gravy, I'm not adding sugar to them. If you want to do that, totally up to you. You're going to measure out 2 cups of self-rising flour. You can sift this flour if you want to. A lot of people swear by sifting their flour. I don't, but I do use a whisk to break up the lumps. So I'm just measuring out 2 cups here, roughly, give or take. I'm going to add in 1 teaspoon of baking powder. And again, this is self-rising flour. You don't really need the baking powder. I'm just using it because I want them to rise higher. That's the only reason. 1 teaspoon baking powder. And I'm using salt. 1/2 teaspoon of salt. There you go. And then give it a whisk because I want to get as many of those lumps out as possible. If you sift it, get the lumps out pretty easily. But not everybody has a sifter. Once you get those dry ingredients mixed together, it should look really soft. All right, so I have 1/3 of a cup of lard. I'm just adding this to the flour. I'm using clean hand. You can't overwork the dough or the biscuits will be tough. But as a rule of thumb, you can work this flour as much as you want to before that buttermilk goes in. We are just trying to create little tiny lumps of it, moving it around and getting it into smaller pieces. And I'm just going to keep doing that until I have everything incorporated. This is what we have, and you see the texture. You can see the little tiny pieces of lard in this flour. When my mother made biscuits, Mama would use her hands. She would put a little well in the center and she would just work her hands around, and then she would take them and roll them just like this with her hands and then put them on the pan. I have found, for me personally, I tend to overwork the dough that way. So I use a fork method. This fork keeps me from overworking the dough. So I'm going to start out with adding 1/2 cup at a time of the buttermilk. And I'm just taking it and putting it right in the center. And I take my fork, see if you can see this, and just start stirring it around and grabbing the flour off of the sides of the bowl. All right, now I can see I still have dry flour here. I'm going to add more buttermilk, 1/2 cup at a time. It's usually around a cup of buttermilk, but truthfully, it can vary depending on the flour. And I'm just going to pull that to the center and try to get it all combined. But I'm not rigorously doing this, just kind of using the fork to gather all the flour to the center. And that is about what we're looking for. It's a very sticky dough. And you know what that just prevented me from doing? This. Anytime you're working biscuit dough like this and you do it too much, let me tell you from experience, they will turn out hard as a rock. I've made them that way before. As a matter of fact, the first time my mama showed me how to make biscuits, I could throw them up against the wall. It was like throwing a softball up against the wall. All right, so now we want to flour this surface. There's no really specific measurement here. We're just kind of dusting it. And we're just going to dump this out. Just like that. If you see any bits and pieces left in there, you can include that with it. All right, the goal here is to take your hands and just kind of press it together and pat it down. All right, that's one. Now we're going to fold it. See, it's got extra flour here. That's fine. Press it down. We're going to fold it again. Press it down. Fold it one more time. I usually fold it 4 or 5 times. Is that 3 or 4? Anyway, press it down. One more time should do it. Press it down. Push in the edges, make it look a little softer around the edges. And I roll mine out to be about 1 inch thick. You can see that. It's not perfect. Biscuits aren't about perfection. But just remember, this is not a dough like a regular bread dough where you have to knead it. You really want to be gentle with it. If you have a biscuit cutter, use it. I can't find mine, so I'm going to use a cup. It's just a cup. And I just swirl it around in that flour and then press. You will hear people say, don't twist it, don't. I twist it. It works for me. And it should look something like that. I'm just setting them to the side right now. I'll show you what I do to the pan in a minute. Mama would make really thin biscuits. She liked hers thin. I like mine to have a little bit of a rise on them. They got some cracks and stuff on the top. I don't mind that. Some people want it smoother on the top. Doesn't bother me. 5 biscuits, 1 inch in thickness, and then what my mama used to call the baby biscuit. That's going to go in the pan too. I'm using a cast iron skillet today. If you have one of these, they work well. You don't need cast iron if you don't have it. You can use just a baking sheet. Now what I'm going to do is prepare this pan. The same fat that I used in the biscuit, which is lard, I'm going to take a little bit of this and grease the bottom of that pan and the sides. Normally, my cast iron pans are usually really, really dark and black and shiny. I have seasoned this one before. It just doesn't have the years of seasoning on it that most of my cast iron has, but it will get there with time. I'm going to lay these. Now, I like to put mine so that the sides touch. The reason I do that is because when the sides are touching, they're helping one another rise higher. If you don't want that, that's fine. You can totally put these in here without touching, and you'll just have harder edges around the biscuit. But it's about preference. And they fit in there just like that. And that baby biscuit is going in the middle. And it looks like that. Take buttermilk and put a little in a cup, dab it on my hands, and dab it right on top of the biscuits. You can use a brush for this if you want to. This is what it looks like before it goes in the oven. I've preheated my oven to 450 degrees. These will go in on the middle rack and they'll bake, I don't know, 20 minutes or so. The Hog Jowls have cooked, and this is what they look like. As you can see, they crisp up just like bacon, and they're delicious. That was from about a pound of Hog Jowls, produced about a cup of the drippings. We're going to use some of these drippings to make the gravy. So you can see the brown bits that were left in the pan, those we're going to use them. A general rule on making gravy is you're going to add equal parts of fat or the oil. In our case, we're using Hog Jowl grease, to equal parts flour. That's 1/4 cup. All right, I want to get that grease hot again. So once it's hot, we'll add 1/4 cup of flour and create a roux with it. If you want to check the temperature to see if it sizzles, see that? That grease is ready. So just going to add that 1/4 cup of flour. And this is when I just come in with a whisk. Now what we want this to do is we want that flour to brown. The way my mama would make gravy is she would cook the flour to be the color that she wanted her gravy. So you need to cook this until it gets to the color that you want your gravy to be. Now some people use milk to make their gravy. My mama used water. We rarely had milk gravy. It's delicious, but we just did not have that growing up very much. Now I can see this mixture is a little thin to be a roux, so I'm adding just about another tablespoon of flour. So I want it a tiny bit thicker. That's more like it. Now it's at this point that I'll add the salt and pepper, and I'm just sprinkling it in. I can adjust it later. I like a lot of pepper in mine. You don't have to use that much pepper. While that's hanging out for a little bit, you don't want to take your eyes off of it too long, or that flour will burn. You can use a wooden utensil if you want to, but when we put the water in there, we're going to want to whisk it to get the lumps out. As you can see, that flour's getting really brown, and that's what we want. I'm going to turn this down to medium heat now. Just don't take your eyes off this because it will burn. That's about the color of the gravy my mama used to make. So I'm going to stop there, and we're going to add the liquid. I'm adding a little bit at the time, and when I say a little bit, I'll go in probably about a cup at the time. I'll give it a stir. All right, if it's too thick, you add more water. If you add too much water at one time, just let it keep cooking because it will get thicker the longer it cooks. Now we're just trying to get it to the consistency that we want it. That's about the consistency that you want gravy. So I'm just going to turn the burner off. All right, and I'm just going to transfer this over to a serving dish. All right, this is the finished product on the gravy. This is the finished product for the biscuits. Yes, they're large. That's what we would consider a cathead biscuit in our neck of the woods. And then I'm just going to go over these with some melted butter. Notice that in this cast iron skillet, the way the bottoms look, they get a little crispy on the bottom, but we're serving these with our gravy. Just going to cut this right down the middle. You can always add butter and jelly and whatever else, but we're doing the gravy that we made and serving it with Hog Jowls. And here we have some Hog Jowls to go on the side. And that's it for today's Southern breakfast. If you found this video helpful, let me know in the comments. Thanks for watching.